Hey guys, it's been a while. I got a new computer and a new headset and a new everything basically. I have a proper microphone now. So if the audio is too loud or quiet or whatever, let me know in the comments and I'll fix it for the next one. Um, so yeah, uh, this time I'm doing a Marvel villain tier list because I couldn't think of anything else to do. I'm still doing my Star Wars like timeline watch thing, and after that I'm gonna do a start like rank everything Star Wars, and I'm gonna do a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff then. But for now we're doing this. So we got a tier list format going. So here are the tiers. You can probably imagine what they mean, and let's get started. Starter. Uh, I mean he was cool, I guess, and he destroyed Asgard. That was something, but not an interesting character. This guy, Obadiah Stane, the first MCU villain. He was okay. In fact, I'm gonna just rename this tier to decent. Um, like this is kind of like equivalent to B tier here. Yeah, he was fine. He worked as the first villain for the MCU, but wasn't particularly interesting. Korath, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel, and he was kind of uninteresting in both of them. He'll go mid. Malekith, you suck. Bottom tier. Legit the most boring villain ever. Like, the only thing I can think of about him is that he's like as old as the universe itself, which adds a little bit of lore to the MCU, but there's nothing else noteworthy about him. Just like there's nothing else noteworthy about the movies. And Hela, really good. Uh, very good villain. The best villain from the Thor movies. Okay, well, Loki is a better villain overall. We'll get to that, but not within the confines of the Thor movies. Yeah. Um, okay. This guy, really bad. Just Malekith again, but his voice sounds cooler, so yeah. Ghost. Um, the first two villain here who isn't just like super evil and crazy. At least in the order that we're going, which is completely random. She wasn't bad. I'll go here. Yeah, this guy really bad. Like he was just evil, but like really, I don't like him, and I get that's kind of the point, but I don't like him as in don't I'm not even interested. Like that movie, like Black Widow was just not a very good movie, and the villains were not very good either. If you want like a pure evil villain that's like actually good, for the high evolutionary. We'll get to him when we get there. Thanos tier. He is by far the best villain in the MCU and one of the best villains of all time. Top tier. Whiplash, pretty mid. I mean his whips are cool, I guess, and I don't whatever. He's mid. He'll go here. Her, not really. I'm not gonna count her as a villain. Uh, this guy, I'm also not gonna count as a villain. He was barely in Endgame at all. In fact, I'm just gonna this guy too. This tier two doesn't count. So yeah, this guy was in Endgame for like 1 minute, and yeah, okay. Arishem, also not gonna count as a villain. It's just basically really just like Arishem is a celestial. He does things that benefit the universe, or I guess what he views as benefiting the universe, and it's not really villainous. He's just doing his job. I'm sure that statement will come back to bite me whenever Galactus makes his debut, but still. Not Zemo, Zola. We'll get to Zemo later. Uh, Zola was alright. I mean, he'll go here. Here's alright in the first Avenger, but he just kind of played second fiddle to Red Skull. And honestly, I think here's more interesting in Winter Soldier when he was a computer. Uh, I liked how that played out. Ultron. I really like Ultron. The movie was not the greatest, but it was still pretty good. Ultron himself, really good. I like Ultron. The voice acting was phenomenal. This guy, uh, here, I get here, yeah, one of Thanos' minions that no one cares about. This guy, I don't even remember if he says anything. Yeah, I'll go here, whatever. Like, I really don't think he says anything at all. Maybe okay. Actually, he does say some things in Falcon Winter Soldier, but yeah, he was in Captain America: The Winter Soldier and the Falcon: The Winter Soldier, and didn't do much in either one. He was more of a side villain for like one scene each in each show or each thing. Yeah, this guy. I mean, he was basically just Malekith's minion, but honestly better than Malekith because he at least looked cool and did had cool weapons. Like the black hole grenades are pretty cool. Although Loki also got him to kill himself with one. Claw. He was alright. I mean, I'll put him here. Like, he wasn't really a villain in Age of Ultron. He just worked out a deal with Ultron and then got his arm chopped off. He was definitely a villain in Black Panther, though. Killmonger, peak. Killmonger is awesome. Like we're like by this point of the MCU, kind of like midway through Phase 3, we were getting to like the point where basically villain after villain after villain was really good. Although that kind of started a bit before this, but yeah. Winter Soldier, great. Here, yeah, Winter Soldier, great villain. He was only villain in one movie, and then a hero in all the other. It's weird, but he for the movie that he was a villain in, very good. This guy, probably the least interesting of Thanos' minions. Lizard, definitely the worst of the No Way Home villains. For the No Way Home villains, I'm only going based off of how they were in No Way Home itself, not the previous Spider-Man movies that aren't in the MCU. So Lizard, I'll put him here, I guess. Dormammu, like the final battle, I guess, if that's what you don't want to call it, of Doctor Strange was really cool, and Dormammu looks really cool, but it's also not an interesting character at all. So here, yeah. Same thing applies to this, but this is literally just the big kaiju. I'll put him here. This guy definitely the best of Thanos' minions in Infinity War. I'll put him here. His telekinesis is cool. He also got roasted by Tony. Ego, really good villain. Like he was just insanely evil, but also like kind of had a motivation. He was kind of alone for a long time, uh, as at the beginning of the universe, and he eventually decided that he wanted to just become the universe, kind of. Like that's oversimplifying it, but yeah, extremely messed up what he did by murdering all of his kids that didn't have the celestial gene and just storing their skeletons literally in him. Kind of crazy. Carly, bad, trash. Yeah. Uh, I mean, they really tried to go so far into the sympathetic route that they did not make her threatening at all. So yeah, this guy did absolutely nothing. He goes here. I mean, he did kill Gilgamesh, but like, eh. Icarus, kind of a villain, but like I'm almost inclined to put him in the doesn't count. He was. I'll put him in decent. He goes here. This guy, whatever. Yeah, whatever. John Walker. I'm also kind of inclined to go with not a villain. Like, okay, I haven't watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier since the summer of 2021 when I first watched it, but I have watched reactions of it since then and reviews of it. Uh, and don't really remember him being that much of a villain, so I'll put him here. You were pretty good here. I forgot Ravana went Ravana Renslayer. That's her name. Yeah, Aisha, not a good villain. She was barely a villain at all in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but this is more based off of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because that's when she was more of a presence. Here, I guess. Yeah. Echo. I'm partially inclined to say not a villain again. Um, like she was an antagonist to Hawkeye, um, but to like Hawkeye and Kate, but I'm gonna go with doesn't count. I don't even know where I'd put her anyways. Crossbones, mid, better than Whiplash though. Taskmaster, trash. Here though. Taskmaster, the abilities were cool, but from what I've heard, the comics version would have been a lot better. I haven't read any of the comics at all, and for one character we'll get to later, uh, that will definitely show like that I don't care how comic accurate it is, but this is wasted potential from what I'm hearing compared to the comic counterpart. You, here, sure. Uh, next to your husband. Uh, No, I'm not counting you. You literally barely show up, and like J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson is iconic, but I'm not going to consider you a villain for the purposes of this list. Doc Ock, really good. I'll put him here. He's barely even he's like only a villain for part of No Way Home, but in that part he is really cool, and then he's kind of like a good guy. So yeah, Caecilius, mid. He does have some sort of motivation though, so I'll put him at the top of mid. Agatha, very good villain. I think I'll go back of great for her. She was good. You were the best villain from the Iron Man trilogy at least. I'll put you here, right above Ironmonger. Uh, you. Now I haven't watched the Netflix series like Daredevil. From what I've heard, if like a list like this were to count those shows, he would be like way up here. Just going off of Hawkeye, eh, he was a meh. You. I'm also inclined to go not a villain with Echo, but I think I will count him because he definitely felt more evil than her. Unless I'm misremembering things, but I did watch Hawkeye just like a few months ago, so yeah, rewatch it just 3 months ago. I'll go there. Sandman, he was okay. I'll put him here. Um, Loki, peaks. Probably my second best villain in the MCU. Yeah, he was. And if we're going off of just the first Thor movie, he would go in this tier. But the Avengers throws him up here. And then after that, he's really not much of a villain at all. But just him in the Avengers, awesome. He Who Remains, top of decent. Like of course he's not in it that much, but it's just so interesting how he is. Nebula is a villain in one movie and really good, like well fleshed out hero after. But just in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie when she's a villain, mid. In fact, probably near the back of mid. I'll go above the Surtur and the Duel in Darkness. Also, Infinity Ultron doesn't count because I haven't watched What If. Green Goblin, peak. I'll go here. Green Goblin was amazing in No Way Home. Be the best No Way Home villain, quite easily, and one of the best villains in the MCU. Okay, my headphones decided to turn off. Okay, whatever. Moving on. This guy. Hmm. He sucks, but I'm kind of. You know what? I'll actually put him below Dreykov. He sucks. Okay. hold on, just checking something in OBS. Okay, Red Skull. He was okay. He goes here. Ronan here. I'm kind of speeding through this because it's really late, like 12:40 a.m. and I have school tomorrow. So yeah. Yellow Jacket. I'm gonna count both Yellow Jacket and MODOK here. I know we have MODOK right here, but I'm just not gonna put him on the list. They're both the same character. And if it were just Yellow Jacket from the first Ant-Man movie, he'd go here, but I think MODOK will pump him up to here. Yeah. Hammer. It was kind of a joke, but a pretty funny joke, so that warrants him being in mid instead of bad or lower. I'll put him right next to his Whiplash. Alexander Pierce, very good villain. I'll go here. He was just so interesting. He was not a physical threat at all, but he had a lot of influence. He was basically leading the Hydra effort to take over Shield from the inside. It's just really cool. This guy was literally a henchman. Bad tier. This guy's also a henchman, but he was also kind of funny, so he'll go in mid tier. This guy is another henchman, bad tier. This guy was kind of like a typical kind of NPC villain, but he was also funny. No, actually, yeah, I'll go there. Yeah, you henchman, bad. I mean, actually, you are technically the Scorpion, and Scorpion is cool in Spider-Man PS4, but like, eh, I'll put him above Shaw. I'll put him above these two. I'll put him above him. Uh, okay, I gotta squint for this. Vulture, Vulture, very good. I'll put Vulture there. Vulture is an amazing villain. No, okay, I'll go behind Green Goblin, but Vulture is an amazing villain. Um, he's not even like that. Like he's not doesn't have some grand plan to take over the world. He just is providing for his family. And that's just really compelling. And the Vulture suit looks really cool, and Michael Keaton's acting is amazing. Electro. I'm going to put Electro here. He was very good in No Way Home. I haven't seen TASM 2, but I've heard that he's completely wasted and just kind of garbage in that movie. So this movie redeemed him, I guess. Mysterio. So earlier, when I was talking about Taskmaster and not caring about comic accuracy, this is the example I was talking about. Uh, so Mysterio, I will go with decent. I'll actually put him at the very top of decent. Now, something about it, I don't really like how it was executed, but if I cared about comic accuracy, he would be down here because Mysterio in the comics, from what I've been able to gather, is not this at all. Like not how it was, not how it was in Far From Home at all. But he was a pretty decent villain in Far From Home. Supreme Intelligence was not very intelligent and not very supreme. Taserface. Hold on. Do we know Taserface is the best villain? Come on. I mean, he's Taserface. Okay. For real though, Taserface is a really funny joke villain, so he goes above Hammer. Honestly, probably one of the funniest villains in the MCU. Abomination. Going by Incredible Hulk, he'd probably be around this area. But She-Hulk, even though I absolutely hate that show, actually did pretty good for this character, so he goes up in decent here. Uh, not a villain, doesn't count. Mm, I'm not gonna count you as a villain until Captain America: New World Order. Wenwu, absolutely top tier. Wenwu is amazing. It almost reminds me of like kind of like a somewhat like modified version of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, but like very modified. But like the ending with him ending up like saving his son from the Dweller in Darkness really reminded me of Return of the Jedi. Yeah, he's an awesome villain. Yanrog. Uh, just like the movie he was in, mid. He'll probably go here. Yeah. No, he'll go above Korath. And he'll go above these two. Okay. Zemo, very good peak. I'll go bottom of peak. No, I'll go top of great. Zemo wasn't a really good villain in Civil War. Um, he was just a normal guy, but he managed to pit the Avengers against each other and it caused so much crazy stuff to happen in that movie. And the Avengers breaking up was a pretty big reason why Thanos was able to win in Infinity War. If it weren't for this guy here, Thanos probably would have lost in Infinity War. Yeah, that's pretty big what this guy did. And then here's the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he has some pretty sick dance moves. This guy, I'm not even gonna go villain for him. Not this is literally a robot, like not even sentient. Uh, I'm not gonna count you either. You, you're really funny. I like Jeff Goldblum. He's funny. And Grandmaster is funny. I'll put him next to Taserface. This guy is literally the most boring thing ever. I'll put him here because he does have that funny no surrender, I'm going to surrender line. I don't even remember who this person is. So back a mid. This thing. This one is difficult to place because like it's more of just like a symbol. Like it's weird. I'll put you in doesn't count because I don't know where I'd rank you. Harrow. Harrow's pretty good. I'll put him here. Moon Knight is my favorite MCU television series. It took me a while to think about whether I was going to put Secret Invasion above it or not, which is why I haven't made a community post about Secret Invasion. But yeah, Moon Knight stays at the top. Secret Invasion is a shame the last episode was so bad because everything before that was really good. But we'll talk about that eventually. I'll probably do another tier list for the MCU movies at the end of the year. This. What was this? I'm trying to remember this. Oh, that's the storm thing from Loki. I'm not gonna count you because you're literally just a bunch of clouds. Mordo. This is 838 Mordo, but I'll count him with. Actually, he wasn't even the Earth 616, right? Is the MCU dimension? Yeah. I'm not gonna call it whatever they called it in Across the Spider-Verse. I'm gonna call it what they call it in the MCU. Um, Mordo in Earth 838 is whatever as a villain. This is a kaiju mini boss thing. He goes there. Wanda, absolutely amazing villain. I'll go here for Wanda. Multiverse Madness is underrated, overhated, all that. I don't get why people hate it so much. And Wanda was an amazing villain to go with that movie. Who are you? Who is this guy again? Oh yeah, in Moon Knight. Here literally don't remember what he did. I haven't watched Moon Knight since it came out. I should rewatch it though, because it's pretty good. Elena not counting as a villain. You, you. I really did not like the voice that they gave Amit here, but that's a walking crocodile. That's pretty cool. I'll go to top of mid. This guy. Who again? Uh. Oh yeah, he was in No Way Home for like one scene, and then he was in Miss Marvel a little bit. Whatever. He'll go here, and not don't remember the villains go at the back. I literally don't know who these three are. So moving on. Gore the God Butcher. I think these three are from Miss Marvel, but like whatever. They were henchmen for her. Okay, Gore the God Butcher. Gore was good. I'll go Gore right here. Love and Thunder is a movie that is not very good, but is very fun. And but Gore is actually a really good villain, even though it maybe could have been a little better. Najma, whatever, really whatever villain, whatever villain for a whatever show. Really not much to discuss with her. Zeus. I hesitate to really count you in this list because I really don't know where I'd rank you, but I guess I'll put you next to the other funny joke villains. Who are you? Valentino Lagorda. I'm not gonna count you yet. We'll see later. I'm not gonna count the random hunters from Werewolf by Night. We'll get to the real villain of Werewolf by Night in a little bit. You were kind of a henchman for Namor. You're also Namor's cousin, but the feathers look nice, and also you did put up a good like you completely destroyed those cops, which was yeah. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. A henchman, but a cool henchman. You go here. I'm just throwing things random places now. You are a little better because you had some really cool lines, and you kind of had a cool like back and forth 1v1 challenge thing with Okoye. So I'll put you here. What is this? I don't know. Namor is absolutely amazing. Wakanda Forever is a movie that gets better the more I think about it, and so does Namor. Um, he the way his like fight scenes were filmed was so awesome, and but he's such a good character too. They managed to make what looks like a really goofy character in comics, comics that I haven't read, but I've seen some images from. They made Namor cool. Todd, you are one of the worst. I hate you. You suck. All the She-Hulk villains suck. Was this guy from She-Hulk or Miss Marvel? I don't know. Verusa Bloodstone, you were okay, I guess. I'll put you here. Yeah, one of the weaker parts of Werewolf by Night. Okay, you are the worst villain in the MCU. I do not like Titania at all. She is just annoying. Even her voice is annoying. Nothing good. Frogman, a joke, but also somewhat of a funny joke. You go above the other two, but you're still really the bottom three are all She-Hulk villains. I don't even know. These guys even real? I don't know. I know you're real. I haven't seen What If. I'm not sure where to put Bill Murray here. Here, here, I guess. Because yeah, whatever. I mean, actually, you were kind of goofy, I guess. You'll go with the other funny boys. Okay, Modok. We already did Yellow Jacket. Kang. Kang is awesome. I love Kang. Um, I'm one of the biggest Quantumania defenders there are, and Kang is my favorite part from that movie. Um, he's just so cool. Jonathan Majors' acting is amazing, and I'm from the whole about the whole trial incident with like thing with him. It's the evidence is pointing towards him being innocent, which is a good thing, which means because that means Marvel probably won't fire Jonathan Majors, which means we'll get to keep him as Kang, which is a good thing because he did very good. And his powers are awesome. Like the one scene where he just starts going ham on everybody in the final battle. Awesome. I love that scene in IMAX so much, and even not in IMAX. Kang is awesome. I'm not even gonna count you. You were kind of just there. High Evolutionary, awesome villain. I'll go here for High Evolutionary. It's nice to see a villain that is just so evil that you can't help but hate them, but also had some of the coldest lines in the entire MCU. Like, there is no God, that's why I stepped in. That is raw. Adam Warlock, I don't even know where I would put you, or if I should even count you. You're a villain for 15 minutes, and then you're kind of in the movie for the rest of it. Now I'll just drop you here with her. Gravik. Graphic was pretty good. Honestly, if we're going just by the first 5 episodes of Secret Invasion, he'd be up here. But episode 6 wasted him completely, so I'll have to drop him down a tier. He'll go right there. And that's the tier list. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the whole thing. Okay. Um, okay, I just checked OBS. You guys can't even see the whole thing. Okay, hold on. Let me keep zooming out. What the heck? Okay. Yeah, I know I kind of cropped a bunch of stuff in the OBS thing and I that made it a bit difficult for something. Yeah, okay, this is good. This works. Here you guys can see it. Honestly, some of like when I put villains in the higher tiers and I didn't scroll up enough, you might not have seen. But here you go. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I just kind of wanted to get something out, I guess. And I also haven't done a full MCU villain tier list before, so might as well record it. So yeah. Uh, like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.